Order this meeting of the Murphysboro City Council. I ask that all rise.
Thank you, Lord, for the opportunity to gather together as a representatives of the community. Would you be with the conversation tonight, and might consensus be met when it can be, and discussion be lively and provoking. In your name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance. I pledge.
Terry Winston. Here. Alderman Runge. Here. Pittman. Alderman Otis. Here. Alderman McComb. Alderman Fritchie. Alderman Gladden. Here. Your seats.
Here. This is not on as comes to my mind as we call the roll. I thought I would just let the council know that I did receive an email from Noah Fritchie this afternoon. Just says, Mayor Stevens, thank you for the opportunity to serve on the City Council, but this time I'm not asked. As of today, February the 13th, 2024, I resigned from my position. And so we want to thank, of course, Noah for his short time on the council, and I will be looking to appoint someone to replace him in the very near future. With that being said, we'll go into our consideration of council minutes from January 23rd, 2024, and entertain any questions or amendments to the minutes. I entertain a motion to adopt the minutes.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. That takes us into our regular committee and commission reports. First, we have budget finance and WJ's absence. I'll handle these items. We have no old business. In the new business, we have consideration of tip reimbursement to Murphysboro Holdings LLC. This is, of course, that is led by Joe Capias, the hotel owner, and these disbursements are essentially part of the agreement we entered into in order to help hotel. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And in a similar vein, we have consideration of business district reimbursement to Murphysboro Holdings LLC. And this is based off of sales taxes collected there. We have that additional district. Is there a motion to approve this?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Of course, we always have our accounts payable, accounts receivable, and payroll registers. Entertain any questions or concerns on the bills this evening. All right. Is there a motion to pay the bills?
So moved. Second.
All right, we have a motion from Ms. Stevens, a second from Mr. Austin. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Next, we have our financial statements as prepared by Scott Evans. Scott?
Thank you.
increase, so the taxes are gonna be increased.
Yeah. We should be on track. So
Is there any public comment on budget and finance? All right, hearing none, seeing none, we'll come out of that and go to building and grounds, chaired by Mr. Mike Foster. Mike?
Thank you, Mayor. Under old business, we have consideration of clearing trees in Tower Grove Cemetery. And Darren, do you?
I did, Ryan Edwards finally got back with me, so we're looking at around $5,000 to do the work that needs to be done.
Okay.
how many trees are there?
It's probably about a half of an acre, I couldn't really tell you, Rick, I mean, there's quite a few of them, and
Is it that area that goes deep down in between the two cemeteries? That in itself probably makes it a little harder.
I would think it
It's not
probably would,
flat.
yes. That's gonna be a little bit more work to do, so.
We've got a permit for that.
So you got a $5,000 estimate from Ryan Edwards, correct?
Burn them.
Is that a not to exceed number, Darren, or did he really?
He just said that he thought it was around 5,000. Typically, whenever he gives a price or something, that's usually where he tries to get it.
With that being said, do we have a motion to accept that? Do we have a second? All in favor of considering the clearing trees in Tower Grove Cemetery? Opposed? Motion carries. Do we have any public comments under building and grounds? Yes.
Sold last week.
Voss?
Yeah. To Heartland. So-
Okay.
And our contract with the regular maintenance say expired in December.
Oh, dude, okay, that's what I was wondering.
Well, that's when they did their regular maintenance, but I think the contract ended at the end of the year. So it's probably a situation where we just need to go back out for bid again and see who's interested. I don't have anything against Heartland necessarily, but, it's not too difficult to get a few bids and see what the best deal is.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe it was still in effect.
Heartland is owned by J.W. Huber, correct?
Yes.
I'm
From
not sure.
Murphysboro?
Is that right?
Yeah.
He bought it from Ted Williams.
I would say he brought it from Chad originally.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try to get bids on that.
Well, I mean, that was, I don't know how many years Voss had that contract, 2, 3, 4 maybe?
4 or 5 maybe.
Are we contract until a specific date?
Voss's contract expired in December.
Okay, I think you said that earlier.
Yeah.
It just went past my head. Okay.
Yeah. What would you prefer to do, Mike, as chair of this group? Would you rather go out and get,
I think that's the right thing to do.
I agree.
I think that's the right thing to do, is to put it out to bid and see what we can come up with.
Okay, well, we'll follow that direction.
Do we have anything in the warranty that from Ross?
Oh, gosh. I'd have to check.
And mini splits that we put, the police department and fire department is probably the newest things we put in.
So why don't we do this, Mayor? Why don't we wait until the next under warranty or anything that before we vote on opening up for bid. Yep.
Makes sense. We'll follow that direction.
All right, thank you. Is there any other public comment in building and grounds?
If you have something under warranty, and the contract already ended with the previous company, would that carry over to the company that bought it until New contract is signed?
If it's a the manufacturer, but as far as the warranty of work, I don't know what the contract said of what Heartland assumed of Paulson's obligations.
That's kind of why we want to check into that before we put anything out for bids.
It's a good question. I don't know exactly.
I'm not sure they're obligated, but as a good business sense.
Right.
All right.
All right, that takes me to Ms. Curry-Woodson. Dance?
Thank you, Mayor. Under community relations, we have no old business and new business. We have consideration of street closures, one for St. Patrick's Day celebration, and all the paperwork is in order except for, you'll have a signature from our prior chief. So, okay, so we're good. Okay, so are we good or not good?
Well, if we adopt with those amendments, Chief, are you willing to go by and just communicate the reasons, you know?
I would like to make the council, remind the council that for the last 2 years, we've had issues with their requests. The first year, they used the explanation of Murdale True Value putting up the tent, and they couldn't take it down because it was their tent, which meant that it was put up earlier than they had requested to block the street off, and it was stayed up later because it had to be a Monday, and they couldn't take it down on Sunday.
Right.
And then last year, it was set to have the street cleared by 8 o'clock in the morning, and it wasn't. So for the last 2 years that I've been on the council, we've had issues with the request.
And on the light, if you guys would just make note that it looks like on Saturday after the parade, they're wanting that lighted. It says until 6 p.m. And of course, Darren and somebody had to come out and set that back to rotating. And I think he's okay with that, but just so you know, on the IDOT right-of-way right there, it's going to be a flashing red until that 6 p.m.
I think that makes sense because we do have a lot of foot traffic uptown, and it would just help to perhaps alleviate potential issue.
Yeah, and we're good with that. I just wanted to make sure Darren was.
Okay.
I have a question. When Chief talks with them about 6 a.m. and should he also include, Mike, the takedown that wasn't, I mean, should he talk to her about the time did not work out the last time?
Right. adopted the deposit.
Yeah. I think
And
so,
then
too.
if they didn't abide by their request, then we kept the deposit.
Okay.
Is that?
Yeah, that's how things transpire.
Yeah, that's how we started this closure request form. Okay, so he doesn't have to address that also.
Well,
Would be nice though.
Well, it does look like they put like straw or hay up in the brown parking lot that, and this left it. It doesn't look like they're doing that this year.
All right, well, Jance, are you satisfied to adopt these with the amendments suggested?
Yes.
Yes, I'll make that motion. We can't make it.
Oh, shoot, now, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Nay? It's approved. My own motion. Okay, under new business, we also have street closures for, Big Muddy Brewing for the 2024 Smoke Eclipse, and just all of its signatures. And so, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
well, I would
Yes, Dave Murray with Sam Ron spoke with Chuck Sternberg from Big Muddy Brewing, and his concern needed. So as far as I know, everybody else in the loop on what's going to be happening and are okay with it.
Okay. I'll make that motion. Second.
All in favor? Nay? That is approved. Do we have any public comment? Okay, good. Here, let's see, then we can come out down here, thank you.
And of course, just a reminder that if anybody wants to walk in the parade on that Saturday, I don't remember what the lineup time is, but I did get an email from the organizer today inviting us to participate again.
It was on Bridges, right?
Yeah, St. Patrick's Day, you never know what's going to
Yeah, I know. I didn't walk back to church this time in a lot of years because it was so cold.
Yeah, it was pretty cold. All right, well, that'll take us to public improvement, chaired by Mr. Don Glavine. Don?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There's no new business in public improvement. Public improvement, not seeing any, Mr. Mayor. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Don. That takes us to Public Works, chaired by Mr. Gary McCoy. The weather this evening, hope he gets feeling better soon. I'll work through these items here under old. To vacate alley by 2352 McCoy. Ordinance in our packet outlining that vacation. My only question for our attorney is whether I have enough people here to do it.
We do not, we would need a vote of 8.
Well, we will continue to do our best to try to get this done. At some point, we're going to have to provide you with a party gift. But anyway, we're getting. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you. Well, that takes us to our next item, which is discussion regarding estimates for repairs to intersection of 15th and Poplar Street. I'm not exactly remembering where we left this off. I know we had an estimate of, I think, $293,000, Harold, to do this work.
Yes.
And there was some question about whether or not we wanted to pursue a DCEO grant or go ahead and commit to doing this project with perhaps general fund revenue and, water sewer revenue.
I think one of the things that I know has been discussed, of course, we've got the repair down the river also, which originally was part of the ARPA project, but by the time that project went, that whole situation had kind of grown a little bit. So I thought the plan was originally that 30-inch line along with 15th and Poplar into some sort of grant, seeking grant funds both from DCO and also IEPA, just to see, I mean, at this time, funding nomination, there's no money involved in that, so, I mean, if that's what the council want to do. I know there was discussion about possibly the city doing that project, and I don't think that's is going to happen. So, I mean, if you have, fine. I mean, both of these projects probably, if they went through DCO or IEPA, probably wouldn't be funded till early next year.
Well, it would be my prerogative that we pursue those funds, but that we essentially be prepared to fix that situation if something of an emergency nature happens here, because we know that it's not in good shape. And like I said before, we're going to have to fix this either in a reactive way or in a proactive, one way or the other. But, I also don't want to be too quick to spend, city funds if we do believe there's those other costs.
And we have most of the design completed on 15th and Poplar. And of course, down by the river, we have the old original plans, so we can put all those together, get whatever permits we need in the interim. I mean, DCO probably, you don't apply till, I think it's October of this year. So, I mean, just it's good to have those plans done in case you would have an emergency and need to get in there.
And is there something, Tim, that we can do on a more routine maintenance situation with the Vector truck there to help make sure that even though the flow there is low, that it remains open?
We could do a monthly service.
I think that would be wise, and it would certainly not hurt anything.
No, it's simple to do, providing that our equipment can get through, navigate through the issue that is there. But yeah, we'll definitely give it a shot.
Okay, let's do that. Any other questions from the council on that item? Hearing none. We have, excuse me, silence your phones. Consideration of declaring some equipment surplus. First, we have the 1980 John Deere 410 backhoe. Questions about this particular item? Any reason not to do this? I believe there is. Is there a motion to declare a surplus?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Declaring the 2018 Ford F-250 truck bed as surplus. And just because...
Yeah, that's what I...
Sure. So in 2018, when we bought the two F-250s for Darren and I, they had standard beds on them. And then when we got rid of a couple of older trucks, they had good utility service beds on them, so we took the service beds, kept them, and they're aluminum 2018 Ford beds. We decided to keep, standard 8-foot beds. We decided to keep one because we did have an issue a couple of years ago where damage to one bedside, and it was like $3,000 to repair it because it's aluminum. So we kept one bed, one tailgate, and one bumper, and then we're going to get a surplus. Let's just take up space.
Are we planning to sell these?
I talked to Katie about it a couple of weeks ago, and he said that it would sell. He couldn't tell you what it's about. Or we could, because I don't know if we can sell on like eBay or advertise that way, or marketplace. But he seems to think they bring, anywhere between $800 and $1,000.
Okay. All right. Declare that as surplus. Motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Up next, we have a discussion regarding drainage issues at 307 North 22nd Street. I'm going to go to Darren Mills. I know that he had spoke with Chuck Navarra there at residents about this issue. Darren, what can you tell us?
I did. There seems to be more than one issue. One that's not draining, and him and another neighbor both kind of cornered me over there and said they got a sewer smell, so we're not sure if there's a sewer leak of some sort or whatever. so that may need to be addressed as well. But I did meet with Gary out there the other day. He said to go ahead and get a hold of Ryan and see if he can shoot us a price on it. You know, it's about the only guy in town that does that type of work. I did kind of tell Gary, I said, it may be a while before Ryan can get this, because he has all his equipment at the cemetery as far as the big equipment. So I don't think he'll pull off that job to come do this. So we do have time to look into it. I mean, it's something that's been that way for quite some time, that I just kind of hope Mr. Barrow that we would keep it on our radar. We get something else.
All right, well, let's hold this over at least one more agenda and see what we can come up with in between time. All right, moving on, we go to the diamond map presentation. I think Tim Lee and Brian Manwaring will be welcome them to
And this will only hurt all over Sunday. We wanted an agreement, I guess, it's not really a purchase, it's an agreement with Diamond Maps. And I pulled it. The reason I did that is, you can see that there's just an aerial that looks like anything you see on Google Earth. Now here is Murphysboro now, how it's all lit up. We've been working on this for about a year. And what this does is we can actually GPS water meters, water valves, fire hydrants. We can identify water mains, whether they're plastic, cast iron, whether we make repairs. There's a lot of tools in this that are very useful. Storm drains, sanitary sewer. And there's search options, there's different layers if you look here. I don't know if you can see that very well, but we got sewer lift stations, water storage, which is our water towers, where we make water repairs. And you can search each of those individually. So again, we start on Canvas, and pretty much all my guys have logins for this. There's about 4 of us that have really been proactive with it. I give a lot of the young Josh Thompson has done quite a bit of this work. If I have any issues with it and try to figure anything out on it, I normally ask him, and he's able to show me what's going on with it pretty quickly. So we can just click on here, just do a random water meter. As you come up, you got the account number. That's their billing account number. The brand of the meter, which is Badger in this case. The size, which is 5/8. That name will change when we do service tickets. We'll update. Everybody's able to update this in the field. Address, meter identification number. And you can see here you got attachments. Now, one of the favorite tools about this, because leaves on the ground, snow on the ground, anything else that you might come across it. You click on that. It comes up where you can identify exactly where that water meter is if you have snow on the ground, whatever, so you can find it. Not just to read it in case there's emergency shut off, if the people are frantic inside their house because the upstairs water is leaking down, and we can get out there and get that shut off as soon as possible. Also, water valve locations for the same reason. Weather is snow and ice. You can click on, comes up water valves. That one doesn't have. That one hasn't been updated yet. Again, it's a work in progress. Most of where we started was down around Riverside Park, the older part of town there. Click here. There's a fire hydrant. You go to attachments. It comes up exactly the location of that hydrant. As we update the fire hydrants, we will be able to put the hydrant number, the type of hydrant. Now, some have been updated. The flow, and like I said, you can actually GPS it. As well as, in that case, there's a water valve. So you click on the valve, you go to the attachments. And again, if you're looking for a valve in the middle of the night, there's no better tool than this to see exactly where that valve is, about 2 foot from the hydrant right there. Oh, there's another thing for water line repairs. I'll look for the 9th. Actually, it's easy for me right here. So you look for 9th and Walnut. Now you remember this one specifically because this was like a 3 a.m. deal. It's funny how those things kind of stick in your mind. So, you can see right there, you can see the little red line. Anybody see that little red line right there by the hamburger helper guy? So if you click on that, I can. There it is, okay. So in this intersection, we have a choice between water valves, sewer lines, water lines, and water repairs. So if you click on water repairs, it'll tell you exactly the line size, 6-inch cast, caused the leak, and had a hole in the pipe. That's pretty common. The people who were on that evening who repaired the leak, the date it was done, 5 a.m. It was updated. There's a brief description of what happened here. You can read it says, removed an old valve and replaced 13 feet with a 6-inch C900 plastic. C900 plastic is the same outside diameter as cast, so that's what we use to repair. And we use 2 12-inch by 6-inch repair bands. So if you click on the attachments here, it kind of gives you, if you don't remember that night, which all my guys I'm sure do, you can see right here the hole that we dug, and then there's cast here, 2 clamps on the other side, and there's a new pipe that's going in. So, which a lot of times, I don't remember quite what we did in this case. We dig it up to see what we have. We're able to go back to these spots and basically, see what we did that day and how long ago it was. And now as we replace fire hydrants, we'll be able to do the same exact thing. We'll be able to update the fire hydrants. Like in here, you see that this is a manufacturer's Mueller. The type is it's a 6-inch feed, condition, good, and then it's also got GPS coordinates set. We're also going to update it with flow, so each hydrant will have its gallons per minute.
I wondered if it could tell how many gallons from this were being utilized.
Gallons for the high fire hydrants?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be the maximum gallons per minute. Almost, yeah. So anything else? I mean, there's, like I said, the layers here they've got pretty much everything covered. They got electric lines. Anything else that the city might put in that isn't common is why I like the guys to use this on emergency locates after hours, especially because a lot of times we will forget that the city does own its own fiber optic lines, which Brian will always send me a text, hey man, don't forget we got fiber over there. Because when you're out trying to fix a line in the middle of the night, or if you're just doing a quick emergency locate for a telephone pole installation somebody may have hit, you forget that you're also responsible for these fiber optic lines. And the fiber optic is easily identified in this as with an orange line. And we have several of those throughout the city. So what you can do is you go to your layers and you can turn off everything you want. I think there's actually an option where I can turn it all off. And then I can just say, okay, where's my fiber in this section? And as you zoom out of the city, you will see where all of our fiber lines are. There's one that runs all the way to the wastewater treatment plant. But that's pretty much it, unless somebody has
How
any
close are
questions.
you to having everything done?
I would say that we are probably, well, there's so much here.
Oh, I know that.
We probably have listed 25, maybe 20 to 25% of the water meters, and probably the same with the mains and a lot more of the hydrants.
Yeah.
But it's a work in progress. But I think you had asked about this last meeting, and I think it was a good use of funds. I believe Brian, can you remind me what the monthly is?
$960 is what we pay a year for it.
A year?
Yeah. Now, keep in mind that the alternative to this at the time was several $1,000s, and what they would do is we would have like a laptop computer, and they would overlay our maps as they are on top of basically the same thing. What I like about this is that it's constantly able to be updated. Because anytime you make an improvement, you can update it right there.
And it's accessible to the guys on their phone device. They can call it up on their phone in the middle of the night. They don't have to go to the office and check something.
But Brian also has his tornado alarms on here as well. So, and he can update them as he wants, serial numbers and part numbers and things of that nature. So he might have it at his office in a file, but he can also click on it and easily have that information right there as on his phone.
Do you have a general, login? Council members,
Brian, I'll let you fill that. But
yeah, we can, anybody.
It just might, be worthwhile to interact with it or see, in our own neighborhood, what's there and what's not.
Yep, I can get that number.
Yeah, okay. All right, do we want to hit that up and make the lights? Thank you for that presentation. Do we have any public comment on Public Works? Hearing none, we'll come out of Public Works, go to Public Safety, chaired by Mr. John Irvis. John.
Thank you, Mayor. We have no old business and the new business. The fire department annual report is in our packet. Chief, anything you want to highlight?
That's up from last year, I don't recall. So almost 13%. Which is pretty good considering we do respond several times. So each but thanks to Kim keeping track. I'd field any questions if you've got them.
Questions for the chief?
Chief, when we received mutual aid, do you remember what the specific calls were?
When we do. Eight or 10 minutes, I'd have to look it up again. And then also when we do that, last year.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, chief. Good information.
All right, thank you very much, John. The taste of personnel, Chair of Ms. Barbara Hughes.
Thank you, Mayor. We have no old business, no new business, and unless there's public comment on personnel, or personnel comment on personnel.
Well, I guess I would mention one thing, Barb, if you don't mind.
Yeah, please, go ahead.
I did receive notice from Blaine Enzor recently that he was wishing to essentially retire from his position in the code office, effective at the end of today, and asked him if he'd be willing to extend his employment out a little bit longer to help us find a person to fill his role, and then hopefully give time for, whoever that person is to work alongside him for a period of weeks or maybe a month. So he has agreed to work through April the 12th, and so I really appreciated that. Lane, he's worked for 8 years, and I think a very good job. I think, I forget what the number was, but last year, I think he wrote something. Charlie, did you say it was over 1,200?
Yeah, we were right at 1,300 cases with code violations and vehicles for the year.
Right.
So over 100 a month.
So, I mean, he has stayed pretty consistent with what he does, and so be looking to find somebody to replace him. But I just wanted to mention that.
Thank you. Is there any comment on personnel? Mayor, I think we can get out of that. Thank you.
All right. Email and circulate it for this packet, and I didn't get that done. But basically, Richard Blake, our city attorney, has outlined 3 different options that we could consider to craft a ordinance that would limit the video gaming parlors in Murphysboro. One is what Carbondale does. They essentially create a definition of a video gaming parlor that outlines, where the primary source of revenue for that business is from gaming, food sales or whatever, and then they just put a cap on the number of licenses. The other option would be to essentially not issue any additional liquor licenses that didn't provide that at least 51% of sales came from alcohol or food. That would allow the more traditional bar or more traditional restaurant to open up with help to gaming parlors specifically. The third would be to just consider some sort of thing like we've done with other businesses, to where we have the zoning ordinance. We say that, we no longer will allow video gaming parlors to open within 100 feet of, XYZ or within zoning districts. So what I will do is forward that email to everyone, and then I'm going to hold this on the agenda, and it's just my first blush is I like what Carbondale does. I think it's the cleanest way to do it, but maybe with more people, we'll come to a different conclusion.
Well, can you send us like a number or a list, not name necessarily, but a list of what we have?
Sure. And I'll go to council member requests or misuse. Ms. Curry, this one. Mr. Romo.
Nothing, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Austin.
And his impending retirement on Friday. So,
Thank you.
in your prayers, because her funeral is tomorrow. And Molly has been a very good person for the community and the school district.
Mr. Austin.
Thank you.
Ms. Jackson.
Nothing, thank you.
Hunziker. Mr. Ernest.
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Gladden.
To go with Mike's acknowledgement of Molly Jo McDaniel, the city surrounding in the county has really lost a star person who gave her life for so many young people for so many years. And, we probably all know students who had her in school, and it's been a great loss.
Do we know what the memorials were to be made out to, John?
It wasn't, I was there at the visitation, which I will tell you was absolutely packed, just about, there was a list there, there was a card, but it didn't say what the options were.
Let me look and see if it's listed in the obit.
Do so and then text it to me, because the city really ought to, in this particular case. Contribution. I think it'd be altogether appropriate. Okay. We'll go to department head requests. We'll go to Attorney Blake.
Nothing to report.
Ms. Bentley.
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Evans.
Nothing, thank you.
Chief McBride.
Nothing, thanks.
Chief Elmeyer.
Yeah, I'd like to mention, I think most of you know Dave Sullivan, and he passed away here in the recent past. There's going to be a memorial for him Sunday at the Legion from 2 to 6. He was on our auxiliary, and he was one of the most active auxiliaries that I've ever had in my complete career. He's was there 99.9% of the time, every time we needed somebody. So I'd like to, pass our regrets on to his family, and anybody can make it by the Legion between 2 and 6 Sunday.
He also helped us out a whole lot when Ginger was on leave.
Yeah, he filled in.
He did a great job.
Yeah, he filled in for animal control for us when we needed somebody, and just like I said, anytime you needed somebody, he would always be there, and it was great for us, so big loss.
Yeah, big loss.
Mayor, I'll just tell you this, and I can send it
Okay.
to you, but in lieu of flowers for Mongo, memorials may be directed to Abundant Life Fellowship Church or Gideon's International.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Barb. Mr. Van Wering.
Nothing, thank you.
Sheffer.
Have nothing, Mayor.
Ms. Volley.
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Lee.
Nothing at this time.
Mr. Iser.
Yes, Mayor. Just want to get it printed up and emailed today, but I'm out with somebody at the office. I worked with Richard on a cell tower permit. I drafted a permit, telecommunications permit. We didn't have one in the city. It's going to go through the zoning board of appeals next Tuesday, and I will get it sent out to you guys tomorrow. Since it goes through there, we present at the next council meeting. So,
Okay.
that's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Gladson.
Nothing, thanks.
Mr. Mills.
I have nothing. Thank you.
All right, well, we'll take a 5-minute recess. We do have an executive session that we have to take care of, and we'll do that momentarily.